order. Time is 3:01. We'll call to order the Tuesday, April 19th, 2022 meeting of the Norwalk Fire Commission. We have a quorum with Commissioner Destruge and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 15th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Destruge. Are there any corrections, deletions, or omissions?
None from me.
Chief Gatto?
Just a couple of name changes. On page 2, it should read Assistant Chief Conti presented his report under where it says buildings. Then on page 3, it should read Assistant Chief McCabe presented his report at the very top line. And then on page 4, I'm sorry. Yeah, on page 4, under the attached letter, Fire Marshal Inspector's Office is crossed out inspectors. Should be Fire Marshal's Office. That's it.
Any other corrections? Okay, all in favor of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Action items, there are no action items. Fire Chief's report, Chief.
Okay, so we are now 9 months into the fiscal year. We should be averaging 75%. And one of the accounts that, just to note, the administration for the wages and salary regular account, we knew we were going to be high on that based on severance pay for the assistant chief that just retired. But we will be able to transfer money into that account to cover it. The overtime account in the firefighting budget is holding steady, and I think we should be able to get through the next 3 months without any increases. And if you look on the breakdown month by month, the reason March is higher across the board is because March is 5 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks from the previous 2 months.
Yes.
So that takes into account. It's a little bit higher because of that. And then the overall, we're at 73.2%, which is a good place to be.
Very good.
There is a slight uptick in our sick time. Unfortunately, we had 3 members that got hurt on duty. And before it gets changed over to injury on duty, comes out of sick time. So I think that skews the numbers just a little bit. But we're still, better than we were last year at this time. So, questions?
No questions.
Mayor, you're still muted.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
That's the new phrase.
No questions, but the comment. I see that we're doing much better in terms of the injury number of injuries for 2022. 640, 20 in 21 versus 163. I'm very happy to see that.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Next is the report of the Assistant Fire Chief of Administration.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon.
So just a few updates. Our records management software, ESO, we are almost complete, and we should be, we started training with the inspectors. They're going to now be able to do all of their fire inspections with iPads live right in the inspection, which is going to be great for them. It's going to speed up their efficiency. It's a good program. We started their training. I'm going to be training the officers. I'm organizing with Deputy Chief Markowitz. So we should be up and running. There's obviously we should be up and running pretty soon to get this thing going. For the communications upgrade, we little bit of a bump in the road. Our main radio template programmer left the company, so I got assigned a new one. But I just met with him last week, and we're getting their template in progress. We're building it now. We just got full approval for the fire station alerting system, which is great. I sent that over to purchasing. We're waiting to hear that back, so we can get that started as soon as possible, which is well needed because right now I'm doing minor repairs just to make sure it's working, but I don't want to spend money on something that's getting replaced. So it's looking good. System is we're on target. Station 1 is looking great. I should have pictures for next meeting for you because it's finally complete. Everything was covered, so I couldn't get some pictures. But we've got the officers' quarters; they're all complete. They're moved in. We've got the lieutenant back in his office, and the firefighters are actually staying in the captain's office. And they've begun to tear apart the whole second floor, and the kitchen's going to be upgraded pretty soon. So they're looking at my last meeting. The company, Majority Construction, wants to get out by the end of May and finish the station. So they're doing a really good job. Station 3, I want to try to, now that we know that we're getting our new engines. I met with the 3rd Taxing District about about phase 2 of the apparatus floor. Pretty much what has to happen now is that floor is going to get redone, and it's going to lower it down, and it's going to upgrade the capacity because the new trucks, nothing's getting smaller. Nothing's getting, basically we have a height issue and we have a weight issue. So I'm looking into that. I just met with the inspector last Friday. The engineer at Friday, and he's reworking it and making sure everything's okay. But I met with their taxing district, is well aware of it, and they're very cooperative, and they know that it needs to be done. That's where we're at. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like you're very busy, but nicely done.
Thank you.
When Station 1 and Station 3 are completed, maybe we can take a tour, or maybe even hold a commission meeting at one of them.
That would be
Yeah.
great. That would be
Yep.
great.
Unless
Okay.
Commissioner Destruge is still in Greece, I don't know.
No, we'll still be here till July. So
Okay.
Well, I've definitely set it up.
Okay,
we'll set
very
up.
good. Item 5, Assistant Chief McCabe.
Okay, in the last month, we have met a couple times with the Police Marine Division, the Coast Guard, Norwalk EMS, and the Seaport Association to discuss interagency communications and plans for medical responses to the water and to the islands for this coming boating season. So we've worked out a plan of action that everyone can agree on. And I think we're in good shape with the coming boating season to make those responses to the water.
Can I ask a question? Because I know
Yes.
a participant here, I believe Mr. Coben was asking about the fireboat and the police boat. I know is the fireboat fully operational and fully staffed?
It is, yeah. 238 is in the water and is staffed. The smaller fireboat is out of the water. It's being serviced at the apparatus maintenance, but 238 is in the water, and personnel at Station 3 are ready to respond for the season.
Okay, great. No, I just want to make sure because I was concerned myself. So,
Okay.
okay, next item.
Next item, we sent 10 personnel to receive training and certification as public safety peer support counselors, which was a regional class that was given. We had 10 volunteers from our EAP team that went to the class and received the training. And this is just another step for us in providing effective EAP to our firefighters and making sure that we have a strong program. We got good feedback from that class.
Good.
Yes, yeah, very important. And the people that we have on board the team are very enthusiastic about it. So I think in view of what other departments have in the region right now, Norwalk Fire is very strong in that respect. We've revised SOP in regards to Mayday procedures to update it to our current radio configuration. And we're now in the process of putting together training for the deputy chiefs and for the chief's aides in in running a Mayday. So we'll be running some mock Maydays, running them through the procedures so that if they ever need to operate one on scene, we'll have that system down and they'll have the experience and the knowledge of how to run one effectively. So that's coming in the next couple of weeks. We have finished the work. I should say Seagrave has finished the work on our new ladder truck. This week, we heard that completion is near, and the committee will be flying out to Wisconsin May 9th to do the final inspection on that truck. Afterwards, in the weeks following, it will be delivered to the vendor in Westchester County to get fitted out. And then we should be seeing the truck arrive in Norwalk and ready for service. I think conservatively, we could say mid-June. So we're in the final phases. That's been a long process due to COVID, factory slowdowns and such, but it's good to see that we're just about there with the truck.
Okay, great. When that happens, be nice to unveil it and introduce it to the public.
Yes. Yeah, we'll definitely make an announcement.
Do we traditionally do that with a bottle of champagne, or is there something?
We'll have to ask the chief about that.
It's our luck, we'll dent the fender.
Yeah. We don't want to scratch it while it's still brand new.
I
Right?
know, right?
As far as calls for the month of March, we had 617 calls, averaging 19.9 per day. We had 23 fires, 2 of which were building fires. We had 33 rescues. 17 of them were motor vehicle accidents with injuries. 6 were motor vehicle versus pedestrian. And we had 2 elevator rescues. We ran 345 emergency medical response calls. Also 39 hazardous conditions, 34 public assists and service calls, and 34 smoke scare good intent calls. We did 96 automatic fire alarms. As far as the cumulative statistics, January through March 31st, we ran 1,900 incidents so far, and that's up 358 incidents from last year. And we've done a total of 2,970 runs, which is up 552 runs from 2021. So you can see the calls continue to increase. As far as notable incidents, we had several small fires in March, including a residential deck fire. We had a fire inside a vacant commercial building at 467 West Avenue. And we had a trash room fire at 123 Water Street. All of those incidents were handled quickly by the crews that were on scene with minimal damage to the structures. We also had a large brush fire at Cedar Crest Place, and we had 2 notable car fires. And since the printing of this report, we've also had 2 other important incidents. We had a hazmat call at 57 Ward Street involving a mercury spill. And that incident was handled with the help of the Fairfield County Regional Hazmat Team. PD and housing were also very helpful in helping to mitigate that incident. And last night, crews responded to an apartment fire at Prowett Street. That fire was quickly contained to the room of origin, but it did result in 1 civilian fatality. And that fire is still under investigation as of today. So I can take any questions.
I just have one. You may have addressed this in the past. I'm not sure. To what do you attribute the increased incidents and the total runs? Do we have any thought about that?
I think we're seeing an increase certainly in emergency medical calls. Not that we've changed the metric on that, but there's just more 911 calls being placed even regionally. When we talk to other departments in the area, they're seeing the same increase. You know, when you break it down, there isn't really one factor. It's not just false alarms. It's not just EMS. It just seems that emergency calls in general are on the rise. So we're just seeing the same thing in Norwalk that we're seeing throughout the region.
Thank you. I noticed the number of alarms. I think that was 90 something. I don't have it right in front of me.
Yes, I think it was a
96.
total of 96. Yes.
Yeah. The ordinance is still in place, and when there's so many false alarms within a certain period of time, there's a fine.
Right.
Are we receiving funds in that area, or?
I don't know if we're receiving those. I'd have to talk to City Hall as far as whether that's being billed out and whether those funds are coming back to us. I know it's only certain alarms that qualify for that, and then a certain number at the same address. So I can look into that further and report back next month on how that program's going.
Now, yeah, is the administrator over at the police department still, is that who's handling it?
I'm not certain if
I
it's
believe
at
so.
PD or if it's City Hall.
Yeah.
Is it PD?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Roger might answer that better.
Gene, yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry, good. Gene Rilling is.
Yes,
one
yeah.
handling That, and they're still doing that. But if the activation is due to smoke, the device is working like it should, they shouldn't be charged. I'm pretty sure Gene's all over it.
So it has to be a true alarm malfunction,
Mhm.
not, obviously not due to smoke. So.
Yeah.
Right, not nonsense, right?
Right. Any money that's collected does not come to us. It gets put in the general fund.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Mhm.
I've never seen any breakdown as to what she's collected or not.
All right, we might be able, it'd be interesting to note the problem, how many false alarms and from the same address and how many are being billed.
I can get that for you.
Any questions, Commissioner DeSruis?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, Fire Marshal's report. Fire Marshal Sawyer.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the month of March, we had a total of 196 inspections, sent out 59 notifications. We did no pub ed last month, but we're going to be coming up with several of those going forward. We did 29 plan reviews, 2 liquor license inspections, and for an income total of $1,255. We also had 12 fires. One of those was a code issue for a total of 13 investigations. And that is it. Anyone have questions?
No questions.
I do, just not related to this. I noticed there was an article in the news relative to the backlog of fire inspection.
Evergreen.
And I was wondering, and you may have answered this last month. I may ask the question every month. I don't know. How is the staffing in the fire marshal's office?
Well, we're going to be interviewing the 2 new part-time, hopefully, fingers crossed, inspectors next Wednesday. We still have one guy out with a long-term injury. Other than that, we're doing the best we can with what we have. I think they were conflating downstairs with up here because they mentioned filling the vacancies. And I think they're talking about downstairs because you really can't fill the vacancies here because there are none.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where they got that information from.
All right,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
we should start looking at a plan to where I know it's really difficult to catch up, especially with the amount of staffing you have. But we need to really look at that issue and make sure that we do everything we can to bring those numbers down.
With the residential, we're doing well. In February, I had 22 delinquent occupancies and began the process of applying for administrative warrants. I had to go to town clerk, get deeds and all this stuff. But we were able to reach the people by going directly to their homes, varying times, finding them where they worked, not threatening, just letting them know, look, we don't want to have any problems with you. We just want, you to comply. And most of them did get back in touch with us. So that list is wiped out, but a new list is beginning. So I will say we're doing well with delinquents, and I think those are the most important because the rest of them are falling in line. Inspector Scully and Burroughs are doing really well with the residential. They stay on top of it. With the additional part-time inspectors, we're going to have 4 people doing the residential. So I think that's the biggest nut, is the residential occupancies as well as what's coming down the pike.
Mhm.
So we're looking at a substantial amount of inspections within the next several years, just based on the buildings that are going up. So, but well, again, we'll do the best we can with what we have.
And it's my understanding that when you go into a three-family house, an authorized three-family house, and you find 4 or 5 apartments, you report that and.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We call in health and zoning, and everybody else is notified.
I know. I think there's a general misperception that, and I've heard people say it, and it kind of makes me smile, that when you find there's a three-family house and you find 5 families in there, start taxing them as a 5-family house. You can't do that.
If it was that simple, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, and there's a cost if we remove somebody from a house. There's a cost to the city to have to
Put them up.
bear the expense.
Uniform Relocation Act, exactly. The health
Right.
department runs that.
Right. So we have to clear out and bring it back to a 3-family house and ask them to take down any structures or make it a 5-family house. And the taxes still remain the same as a 3-family house.
It's funny you bring that up. Tax assessor's site, we go there to see how many units there are. So the tax assessor's card will say 3-family. So that's in our wheelhouse. When we get there, it's actually a 2. And the owner of the property says, hey, wait, this is a 2-family. You can't come in here. But the tax assessor says it's a 3. So you've got to call the tax assessor and figure it out. If you don't want to see us ever again, you need to change this. Some folks do, but some hold on to it so that down the road, when they sell the house, it's sold as a 3-family. So as long as it says 3, we go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that update. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Luca.
Hi, good afternoon. Just a few quick items. Obviously, with summer coming, we are focusing on summer heat safety. So I do have some water bottles coming in that we will fill with summer safety tips and work with some of our senior providers and more vulnerable populations to get those out. Hopefully those should be in within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we can get them out by Memorial Day. And then we'll activate the summer safety link on the city's website for, again, easy to get to summer safety tips, extreme heat. If we do have to do any kind of cooling centers, all of that will be on the spotlight section of the website. June 1st, again, is the start of hurricane season. So the state of Connecticut is doing an exercise on May something, I think towards the last week in May. We'll participate in that and maybe do something smaller for the team, possibly by Zoom. And then I know the fireworks will take place again this year. So we'll do our usual event action plan to get ready for that. So again, that's usually the document we prepare with fire, police, EMS, Public Works, Parks and Rec, all the partners to create that document in advance of the fireworks. Because my guess is it'll be quite packed this year since we haven't had it for the past few years.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm hoping we can pull it off this year. Maybe we're going to see a downturn in the COVID cases, but right now we're seeing a bit of an uptick. And today, the federal judge in Florida ruled that masks mandates on airplanes and trains and rail stations and so forth is unconstitutional. And so all the airplanes have, all the airlines have taken off the masks. I know a lot of people don't believe in the efficacy of a mask, but I think it's, it has to help somewhat. But anyway.
I'll be wearing mine on the plane, definitely.
Yes. So any questions, Commissioner?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Now, where's Mr. Luca? Where is the exercise? Is that a tabletop or is it and is it going to be a Zoom?
Yep, so for the state of Connecticut, my understanding is it'll be done by Zoom.
May 24th.
May 24th, okay.
And then if we do something internally for our team, we can always decide if we want to do it in person or also do that by Zoom.
Okay. Very good. Deputy Chief Markowitz, training report.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Commissioner. Our rescue companies conducted dump truck versus car training. I included a couple of pictures of it. We have a dump truck from DPW that they donated to us that we use as a training prop. And we had it set up on top of a car. They practiced lifting it and performing a simulated rescue. We conducted hazmat recertification training for the entire department. We hose tested all of our 5-inch supply lines, supply hose on all the apparatus and all the hose we have in inventory. That's been completed. The entire department went through bailout refresher training. And for those who haven't received it already, they received their new bailout systems that was in the budget from last year. And then we started the blood draw for the 2022 physicals. So the entire department last week went through coming in and getting their blood drawn so we can start the process of conducting the 2022 physicals, which will begin probably within the next couple of weeks. And that's it. Any questions that I can answer?
Do all the firefighters now have bailout equipment?
We have one more day on Thursday, is our last day of training. 85-90% will have it. The only people that won't have it at that point will be the people that were off. And then that will just be a process of just meeting up with them and having them go through the training when they're at work. But the majority of the department has it. And by Thursday afternoon, almost the entire department will have it.
And the blood draw, that's for a routine physical, or is that for something that may be caused by working? Okay.
Yeah, routine physical. So part of the physical, we start off with blood draw so the entire department will go get their blood drawn. And once that's taken care of, then we start scheduling the physical. So when they go into their physical, they'll already have the results of the blood draw that the doctor can go over with them. So we got that out of the way last week.
Good. Commissioner DeStrouge?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
I see Peter Brown here, but there's no items to report. Mr. Brown, do you have anything?
Mr. Mayor, how are you, Commissioner, Chiefs? Just two brief things. We have two local 8:30 events coming up in the next month or so. To note, next Wednesday, the 27th at Central is our retiree breakfast, which will be our first retiree breakfast since COVID. So it's been over 2 years. So it'll be good to get everyone together. Hopefully a number of our retirees are able to join, and obviously hope Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, you're obviously always welcome. I'd love to have you join us for breakfast that day. And then on Monday,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Okay.
And then on Monday, May 16th, at Oak Hills is our annual golf outing, charitable golf outing. And same thing, we do a little breakfast and coffee before tee off. So even if you're not able to join us for golf, we'd love to have you join us for a quick breakfast, or after the tournament, we do lunch dinner at O'Neill's restaurant. So that's usually about 2:00 in the afternoon. We get there. So
All right.
that's all we have from local 8:30.
Well, thank you for the invitations. I know the retiree breakfast is always a lot of fun, and besides that, it's pretty tasty. So
Yes, yes, it's always a good morning.
yes. Commissioner?
Question, are we having a Memorial Day parade?
Oh, yes.
What date is that scheduled for?
So usually I don't have it in front of
May
me.
30th.
May 30th.
May 30th is Memorial Day.
And then May 31st is the day, well, that's the day that it's going to arrive, I believe, the healing wall. And on June 2nd, we will have the opening ceremony for the healing wall, which will be at Vets Park. That is the wall that is the exact replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. And it travels around the country. And we were supposed to have it 2 years ago,
Mhm.
but COVID hit, and so they didn't do it. And we're going to have it, it's going to start the evening ceremony of June 2nd and the closing ceremony of June 5th. And we anticipate thousands of people from around the area will come and actually pay their respects to the wall and look for names of family members or friends that were killed in Vietnam. It's got the name of every person that was killed in Vietnam on the wall. And it's very special to Vietnam veterans for many reasons. But one is that they were, the veterans were ostracized at that time because people here a lot of people all over the world didn't believe in the war and thought we should be out of there. And so I feel, Vietnam veterans felt that the treatment was different. And this is something that's very, very special and very emotional to them. So,
Yeah, everybody else got a victory parade. They didn't get theirs.
Right.
right.
Hey,
And, with Vietnam, I'm sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
Sorry, is there a specific department that's the lead on that? I'm just thinking, should we do any kind of a safety plan for that duration as well?
That's a great point. The person handling it is, the liaison and the lead is Joe Kendi, who is a Vietnam veteran, and Jeff DeWitt, my liaison for the Military and Veterans Association here. And I know they've been working with the law department and with the police department, I believe. But why don't you reach out to them and talk about the logistical things that might need to be taken care of?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. That's a good
Thank you.
idea.
Thank you.
Chief, are you losing your power there?
Just lost power. I don't know if the generator kicked in or not.
Yeah. Well, we're still connected, so you have some power.
It's true. Should hurry up before we lose it.
Old business. Here it goes with the part-time fire inspectors. Good. I'm glad to see that.
So just to, as Broderick mentioned, we're finally gonna have some part-time inspectors here. We put out the job posting in March and we had 8 applications. Last week, Broderick and I narrowed that list down. And we'll be holding 2 interviews on Wednesday, the 27th, 1:30 and then at 2 o'clock. And we're hoping both of these guys seem very qualified to do the job. So we're hoping that they turn out all right. So that's the update on.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see that. And then that will go hand in hand with my comment to Fire Marshal Broderick that I'd like to see, and I'm sure Commissioner Destruge would agree, I'd like to see a plan of sorts to see how we can bring those numbers down.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner, any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Correspondence, there are no items. Now personnel, the swearing in ceremony and the list of peer support team members.
So just to remind you that on Tuesday, April 26th, the day before the retiree breakfast, we're having our promotional swearing in ceremony that we've been putting off now because of COVID. It's going to be a big group of people. It's 12 firefighters, Assistant Chief Conti and Captain Gagney, Lieutenant Marr, Inspector Kelly. So we have 16 members involved, and that'll take place 3 p.m. downstairs, like we always do.
Very nice. That's always good when we bring new people into a new career, but also always good to see people rising through the ranks and taking on greater challenges. So good.
Yep. So just to mention the peer support team, we did send 10 to that class, but we actually have 14 on the whole team completely. We have 1 assistant chief, 1 deputy chief, 2 captains, and 10 firefighters. So we have all the ranks covered as far as the peer support team members are concerned. And actually, there's a couple of new people that are on the team as well. So it's good to see that they're helping out in that respect.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. I'm trying to think of Jack, what's Jack's last name? The guy that was doing a lot of the EAP.
Jack O'Donnell.
Jack
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, yeah.
Yep.
I know he took that as a passion of his so that was very important to him.
Yeah, we're still in touch with Jack. You know, he's available
Yeah.
for consultation and he's comes to the meetings once in a while. So
Yeah. Oh, he'll be around forever.
yeah, he's a great source of knowledge when it comes to EAP.
Yeah, I've known him for, I don't even know how many years.
He'll be there Wednesday, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that covers the agenda, unless there's any other comments or anything. So I don't have the next meeting here, but the next meeting will be the third Tuesday in May,
It'll be May 17th.
May 17th. Okay,
Okay,
and if that's all, then I would entertain a motion.
move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. It is 3:38. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for your time.
Have a nice day.
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
See you
Thank you.
next week. Be well.
Good day. Thanks,
Thank you.
Pete.
See ya. I'll be here for the retirement breakfast. I'm already tasting it. So
Great, great.
thanks.
See you then.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, me
Take care.
too.
All right.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.